Hey family, my name is Chris. I am your home gamer dad, and I have been reorganizing my board game collection lately. I've gotten a whole lot of new stuff in, and as I was doing this, it got me thinking. It got me thinking about the types of games that I have. It got me thinking about the types of games that I really like to play, the things that I want to show you guys, and with all that thinking, brought me to us having another family meeting. And what's the subject that I want to talk about for our family meeting today? I want to talk about games that started as one media and then made the transition over to another. Specifically, I want to talk about video games that got turned into board games. So I came up with a list of 5 games that I have personal experience with that I want to talk to you guys about. And I'm going to tell you right now, these rank from I love it, thumbs up, absolutely amazing, to this game was garbage. So yes, you are going to hear my opinions on games that I really like, all the way down to games that I really don't like. And just like with the Your Mileage May Vary series, you're going to have a different experience and you're going to have different opinions on the games that I mentioned. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. That's kind of the point of these like discussions and everything. This isn't a YMV. It's, you know, a discussion of video games to board games as a whole. I'm going to not mention a whole slew of them in my list, and I know you guys out there have had experiences with them that I want to hear about, that I have not done anything with, that I want to hear what you have to say. Why don't we go ahead and start with this list? We're going to start with my highs and work to my lows. Let's go. Number 1, Resident Evil 2, the board game. This is one that I will be doing a Your Mileage May Vary at some point on this, because I'm going to be talking about this and the video game, because Resident Evil 2 is a very important game in my life personally. But just a really quick thing, this was the first video game inspired board game I ever got. So that's why this guy ranks very high on the list. And also it's like, the way that it plays, the way that it follows the story of Resident Evil 2, the characters, the monsters, the encounters and everything. I think it follows the game so well. Like it gives you that continuous feeling of dread as you go through the game. And it's more than just flipping over the tension cards and everything. In Resident Evil 2, you know, in any of the survival horror games you ever play, your ammo is limited. You only have a certain amount of shots in order to get through, and not every shot is going to kill something. And that's how it is here. You have a limited amount of ammunition, and you have things coming at you from all directions, and you have to determine, do you run? Do you stand and fight? Do you go into another room where you could possibly be cornered? There's just so many really cool gameplay mechanics and things that happen within the game that represent the video game that I connected with so well when I first played it. Now, that doesn't go to say that this game is far from perfect, because it's not. I'm going to be honest with you. The tiles in this system, people complain about all the time. They call them very dark. They call them, you can't see what's there, or when you're putting together. So it's like when you make a mission, when you go through one of the missions, you got to put together the maps yourself by putting together all the tiles. And sometimes you're inside of a STAR's office and you have a burning car next to you, which is should not be there at all. So the tiles sometimes don't make sense. I have learned to kind of overlook that. I look past that and I'm like, that's fine. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me. I'm still having a great time hunting for items, giving them to characters and everything. I do believe that the weapon-specific character cards in this, so like only Leon can use the shotgun, only Claire can use the bow gun, only Ada can use certain things. I kind of throw those out when I play, especially because playing Resident Evil 3 upgraded that so much better, and I like using that here. I do like Resident Evil 3, the board game, as a game better than 2, but because 2 was the first, it will always have a place in my heart, and I've been working so hard in order to collect all of the pieces for it. I still want that alligator or whatever, but I've gotten everything else, and quite frankly, I'll just keep hunting for it, but I don't really need it because I enjoy it as it is. 12 different missions for the A scenario, same thing for the B scenario that I have, and then all side things. So I would always recommend Resident Evil 2. May recommend Resident Evil 3 2 to start with as well, but honestly, either works, and I think they are fantastic games. Good job, Steamforge Games. Number 2, God of War, the card game. Yeah, I'm sure that there's people out there that are just like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, either they don't know this game or they saw bits and pieces of it and were completely unimpressed. And let me tell you this, I love God of War, the video game. Like, I've loved all the God of Wars, all right? I've played the original 1, 2, 3. I played the ones on PSP. This particular one, this new God of War that came out a few years ago and Ragnarok's coming out and all that other stuff, I love this game. It feels like a God of War video game, but it also has a very unique Kratos' relationship with Atreus. And, you know, as a father, I get it, because that's what you're seeing there. You're seeing a father and his son bonding over all these weird and crazy events that happen, and just watching him trying to protect his son, but still trying to turn him into the man that he needs to be. And as weird as this can sound, that's very inspirational for a father. However, when I saw this game on Amazon, because that's where I first saw it, I was just searching for board games to put on a wish list, and I was like, all right, let me give it a shot. Let me see what it is. It's a deck builder, which is great. I love deck builders. Reviews have been kind of meh about it. So I, took it out of the box. I set it up. I played a few rounds. I read the instructions. I went through and everything like that. And let me tell you, holy crap, this game was so much fun. I get what people are talking about. The art on these cards are very bland. They're kind of uninteresting. It's the same. Kratos is in the same pose here as he is here as he is here. Like, it's the same exact pose. It's the same exact look. Like, there's really no difference between what you see here compared to what you see on all these. And quite frankly, I'm fine with that. This, the deck building aspect, as fun as it is, this is not actually what I'm paying attention to art-wise and everything as I go through the game. No, what I'm paying attention to are the way that they run the missions, which is absolutely fantastic. And I wish more games did stuff like this. And if they do, please let me know. Basically, when you go in to do a mission, say we're on this mission, this is mission 5. I forget what it is. You pull a card out from the box. It gives you a synopsis on the mission, gives you any handicaps or whatever, and you just kind of set it up. And the way you set it up is you set it up in a 4x2 grid. And if you look at the bottoms of the cards, there's like a little filled in diamond that shows you where it goes in the sequence. And what it forms is a picture of a scene. And the scenes have enemies that you have to defeat, things that you can interact with, goals in order to finish the scene. The card also tells you what the mission goal is. And you lay these out in the 4x2 pattern. And as you do things to the cards, they will flip over to the other side. Enemies will disappear. Enemies will respawn. Enemies will move. Things will trigger. Explosions will happen. Fires will go out. You'll find items. You'll find secrets. This is a very intelligent system, the way that it works here. When you're doing the boss battles, the bosses move like they do in the video game. You're dodging lightning attacks from a dragon, but you have to wait till it opens its mouth in order to attack it. Boulder is invincible. Well, not really. You can hit him, but he's bouncing around the screen all over the place. You're trying to avoid being hit by a giant, monster, golem hand and everything. It is crazy the way that these missions work. And I really wish this game did better, so this way more missions from the original, from this God of War game could be made available. I'm hoping Simon does a Ragnarok version of this game. I would 100% buy it, because I would love to have more of these, and I am going to play Ragnarok. Give us more characters, give us better art as well. The characters themselves are pretty cool because they have rage meters on them. So as you do things, you build up your rage, like in the game. And it has a really cool one-player solo mode. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you, you're going to see this on the Home Gamer Dad channel sooner than later. If maybe at this point in the future, if you're watching, maybe it already exists. I don't really know. But expect to see a how to play and a standard run of missions, which is 2 standard missions and a boss. I'm going to show all of that. I'm going to do the 1-player version of the game. It's going to be fun, and then when you guys see it, you'll totally understand what I'm talking about. But if not, that's fine too. Everyone has their own opinions. I'd like to hear yours. 2 for 1 here. 1 really good, 1 really bad. Mega Man Adventures and Mega Man the board game. So I have Mega Man as number 3 because I have 2 games here that are based off of the video game Mega Man. And I'm not going to go too much into Mega Man Adventures because, quite frankly, I love this game. I made a whole multiple 8-part series on the game. I have the how to play on this. And let me tell you, this game is fantastic. This is the way a Mega Man game should have been. Everything that you think Mega Man, getting through stages, overcoming challenges, fighting bosses and everything, that's this game. When this game is available for purchase, pick it up. This is your Mega Man game. This is not. This game is awful. It is so convoluted with its rules, and the dice rolling in this game is way more spastic than, this at least is intelligent the way that it does it. This one, you're failing missions left and right for no reason whatsoever. It tries to incorporate so much into the game that it just becomes so messy and so muddled, and it also overstays its welcome beyond everything. At least with this, the videos I had on this channel are 35, 40 minutes long because I'm talking through things. If you're just sitting at home playing by yourself or playing with friends or whatever, it's not going to take you that long to play. My friend and I played this. We knew the rules. We watched all the videos. We did test runs and everything. We sat down for a serious game. Still took us 2.5 hours to get through. And half the time, it's the turn system in this is one person keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs. All right, when's my turn? Oh, it's that. Okay, I can do this, but I really can't do anything. It's a cooperative game, but you're also supposed to be hurting your opponent by using, wily cards. There's just so much contradictory rules to this game that it's just, oh God, the only good thing about the Mega Man board game is it comes with minis. But here's the other thing, you look at here and you see Time Man and Oil Man, which were the additional Robot Masters from Mega Man powered up on the PSP, and they're on the main box, but they're not in the main box. You have to buy them separately as an expansion because money, and that's it. And it's, oh God, there's just so many bad things about this game. Honestly, I will probably never play this again because I have this one, because this will be the main Mega Man game I play forever. But this will always stay in my collection because it's a reminder of what was and then what has been, what is now or whatever. Don't make games like this. This game is terribly designed, but you can say that about a bunch of different the board game adaptations, and that's kind of where this list is going. So that's enough of my dunk onto Mega Man. Let's move on. Number 4, Devil May Cry: The Bloody Palace. I moved over because technically I don't have this game anymore. I did back the Kickstarter when it came out, went full in on it and everything, because if you probably couldn't tell by the games that I'm showing you, I love Capcom, and Capcom keeps making board games based off of their video games. So I saw Devil May Cry and I was like, yeah, what? Of course, I love Devil May Cry. It's a great series. It's the original blueprint to Resident Evil 4. That became its own thing, but Devil May Cry was the original RE4 thing. And just, Dante is awesome. His brother Virgil is really badass, and it just, Nero from, Johnny Bosch voicing him and everything. Trish Lady, I love the characters. They're so cool. They're so much fun. They're great. I even, don't hate me, I do like DMC, which is that emo reboot of it that they made. I like it for completely different reasons than the original, but trust me, the originals are far better than that one. So I saw the game on Kickstarter, and I backed it, and I got it, and I hated it. I don't know, it was just so boring to me. Like, the Bloody Palace was like a Coliseum arena thing in Devil May Cry 5, where you went in and you fought waves and waves of enemies. That's all this game is. All this game is taking your cards, creating combos, and defeating enemies, which, you know what? I guess that sounds like a lot of games out there. You know, you play Gloomhaven. What are you doing? Walk into a place, kill everything. Next page, walk into a place, kill everything. But I don't know, there's just, with Gloomhaven, there's like advances, you know, you level up, you gain different weapons and everything. You know, other games do it better where you can change out characters. You know, you have characters you have in Devil May Cry Bloody Palace, the board game, but there's really like, I don't know, they didn't feel different to me. They had different cards, but that's really it. I don't know, there's just something about the way that this game plays that just did not resonate with me. When I see Devil May Cry, I have an expectation. I have these really far out, crazy worlds, these absolutely outlandish monsters that I have to defeat, and then going through, and it kind of has like an RPG element to it, where I'm building up Dante as I go along, giving him new abilities, powering up his existing ones, you know, devil triggers, things like that. Yeah, there's some pretty crazy monsters in Bloody Palace. You got these massive, well, they're not massive, but like as far as miniatures go, they're pretty big demons and monsters that you have to fight, and they're impressive. Don't get me wrong, they look great. People make amazing paint jobs out of them and everything. They look beautiful, but I don't know, it just felt very one note to me, and I did not like it. That doesn't mean it's not a great game. That doesn't mean that you out there didn't like it. Actually, my coworker at the time, her and her boyfriend loved this series, and I got it, and I actually ended up selling her my game. I sold it to her for exactly what I paid for it, so there was no monetary gain at all, but I knew that she would appreciate it more than I would, and I think that was really the whole purpose of the game. You know, I found somebody that liked it, that wanted to play it, and I got my money back, and I just moved on. So, I mean, if you've played Devil May Cry Bloody Palace, let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree with me? And yeah, we'll just go from there. So on to number 5, which definitely is the bottom of this list right now. Number 5, Fallout. Oh, this game. Oh, this game. Oh gosh, this game. All right. Story time. So, working at a board game company, getting into like the whole board game, you know, world and whatnot and everything like that. I was introducing a lot of board games to my friends, and one night we decided, hey, let's all meet up and have a game night, which, you know, is awesome. You know, why not? It was me and my 3 friends, Paul, George, and Justin, going to George's house, you know, beer, pizza, board games, all the great stuff. So I packed up a box of board games, or a bag of board games, brought them over. These are games that I know that we would all like and I could teach pretty quickly. Walk in the door, and George presents me with Fallout. This game is also completely shrink wrapped. He never opened it or did anything with it. And he basically handed it to me and said, hey, you're the board game guy. Teach us how to play. This is going to be awesome. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh God, I hate this. This is a pet peeve of mine. This really is a pet peeve of mine, and could probably be a family meeting in its own right. But I prepped this game night with other games and everything that we were going to play, only to be told this is not what we're playing something else. But because I'm the board game guy, I'm supposed to know these things. Nobody told me before board game night happened what everyone wanted to play. And again, this game is shrink wrapped. Fallout has a lot of components to it. So that in its own right is like you have to open it up and punch everything out and organize it. This was like 6 o'clock or so. I was only going to be there till around 11:30 midnight. So yeah, 6 hours, but you know what? I had to punch it out and read and get all the instructions and everything. And it's like no one beside my friend Paul was really helping me. And the instruction manual is garbage. The instruction manual is so confusing. There was so many things to this game that were just all over the place. There was no consistent, no order to it or whatever like that, continuity or whatever you want to say. I'm just so furious by it. And then also watching YouTube videos about how to play the game. It was some gave me a layout of how to play, and then when I watched a second one, it mentioned rules that were not in the first video I watched. And that happened multiple times. There were multiple videos that talked about different rules that the other ones never did. And it was just, oh God, this game. Oh, and it just got worse and worse and worse. As far as how it plays in terms of how the Fallout game plays, I'm really not a fan of Fallout. I know they're good games. Trust me, I know they are. But they just never interest me in order to play them. But my friends Paul and George, they were huge Fallout fans. That's why George saw it at GameStop. He's like, this is what we're playing tonight without telling anybody. But the thing is, the game was lackluster meh for me, and I'm not a fan of Fallout. The game was also lackluster meh for them, and they are Fallout fans. So that's telling you something. There was just certain mechanics of it, like the special system was interesting. Again, I don't know how it relates to the game, but it was a little weird on how you couldn't collect everything at once, but then certain things you could, but you gain dice, you lose dice. The enemy spawnings were a little bit too infrequent for what I thought the game was going to be like. The radiation mechanic, I guess that's okay. I don't know. The vaults were interesting, but you had to shuffle them into this giant deck. So even if you only played for 4 hours, the continuation of a particular mission you were going on, you almost guaranteed weren't going to find it unless it just had to be right there near the top. I don't know. There was just something about this game that did not it just rubbed me the wrong way from the get-go. You out there, you might have played Fallout and you loved it. By all means, tell me why you like the game. Does it follow the video game? Does it have the same effect that you would love that when you play Fallout that you got from the game? You know, the characters or the way the game plays out, the storyline, things like that. I don't know. And maybe that also jaded me in a sense. Well, the actual whole experience of that night jaded me, but not knowing the game, maybe that's something else that prevented me from actually enjoying it. So, you know, everyone has their own opinion, which is fine. This is just my opinion of this game. Tell me yours. Tell me what you think. Agree, disagree. I'd love to hear all your thoughts. So those were 5 games that made the transition from video game to board game that I personally had experience with. I am going to throw an honorable mention on 3 games that have not been released yet. Monster Hunter, Borderlands, and Dead by Daylight. Starting with Dead by Daylight, I am a huge Dead by Daylight fan. I love the game. It is absolutely amazing. I do still play occasionally. I don't play as much as I used to, but when that Kickstarter came out, yes, I definitely 100% backed the collector's edition. Had all the cool killers in it, had all the survivors and everything. And I don't know, just looking at it and everything, yeah, the board looked a little bland and a little boring, but they were level 99 was looking into that. So I'm very excited to finally get this game when it comes out later this year, and I will be showing it to you guys. So as far as the other 2, my friend Paul actually backed both of those. He's getting a metric ton of minis and everything coming with both of those games. But he's the bigger Monster Hunter fan. He's the bigger Borderlands fan, and he's going to be the one to learn and actually teach me the game when we go and play. And he'll be able to inform me about how it connects with the video game and if it feels like it. And he'll know all the characters. He already knows all the characters. His excitement got me excited to see what these games are going to be like. So hopefully in the future, maybe I'll bring my equipment over to his house or whatever and be able to show you some of those things. That would be cool. And yes, I know there's so many more games out there that fall into this criteria. Dark Souls, Horizon Zero Dawn, I believe, is a board game as well. So there are way more video game to board game games out there, which is still a weird thing to say, but whatever, I'm saying it, that I don't know about, that I've never played, but I would like to hear your thoughts on them. What are some of your favorites? Actually, my friend has Doom as well. That just came to my head. What are some of your favorites? What are some of your least favorites? I want to know what you guys think about this particular style of game. I'm going to call it a style. It's not really a genre mechanic. It doesn't make any sense to call it that. Just a style. And your stories connected to them. All of that would be great to hear as we sit down and have this great discussion as a family. Thank you all for hanging around and watching this video. I hope you were nice and comfortable as we went through this family meeting. Let's continue the conversation with each other and really open up to what we would like to maybe see in the future for some type of trend. Is there a game out there that you would love to see as a board game? Do you have any ideas about how to make it a board game? I'm going to tell you right now, my friend Paul and I, we kind of do our own little things. If we knew who had these IPs, we have a great thing for Quest 64. Who remembers that? We've been working on a board game for that. And I've been working on a Mega Man Battle Network deck builder. Anywho, thank you again. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your comments down below. Take care of each other. We are family forever, gaming together, having these discussions, and seeing what the next great game will be. You guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Later.